Hello, so this video will be on discussing the point of zero charge in electrochemical capacitors. So the point of zero charge is defined as basically the electrode potential at which the net electrical charge density at the electrode surface is zero. So here we have a very elementary display of our double layer interface. Here is our electrode, and we have a positive applied potential to it, followed by our electrolyte. So obviously we have some anions that are attracted to the surface, followed roughly by some cations, and so on and so forth until hopefully it reaches bulk electrolyte concentration. So by this definition, a lot of people assume that this is referring to there is no charge on the electrode surface. So it would essentially look something like this. Let's have a look at a real example. So this is just a CV of a 0.5 molar sodium sulfate solution at 50 millivolts per second. So nothing too out of the ordinary here. For the purpose of the PZC, we are just going to focus on the anodic scan because it's a little bit more obvious to see. So the PZC would be this region here because we see a nice little dip in the capacitance. If this case was true, we would not see a current response. It would look something like this. We would have a drop down in capacitance because a drop down in current, because we have no charge on the interface. So this definition, or thinking about this definition, as the interface being like this, is not correct. And often students or even sometimes academics think along this way, but it is not correct. So let's assume our electrode is now at the point of zero charge, and this is just what the electrolyte happens to look like in this little dip area here. So at the point of zero charge, we agree that the net electrical charge density at the electrode surface is essentially zero, or as low as it is going to possibly be. So if that's the case, the net charge needs to basically pair up to have the least amount of charge felt on the electrode surface. So if we pair these two, the cation and anion up, these two pair off, these two pair off, these two, and these two. Essentially, these will all, in short, cancel their charge out. So then it essentially becomes something like this, as if the electrode has less charge at the interface. So that's why we see this little dip occur. So if we agree that this is what our electrode interface looks like at the point of zero charge, where most of these charges are pretty much paired off, we're obviously going to see different behavior either side of the point of zero charge where we apply different potentials to the electrode interface. So if we go to the left of the PZC, so we decrease the potential, we are going to see more cations on the interface. As you can see here, we have reduced the amount of positive charge at our electrode surface. So then obviously we are going to have less anions adhered. And if we have less anions, we're able to have more cations move towards the surface because you're going to have less repulsion forces occurring from having less anions. If you move to the right of the PZC, so you increase the potential, as you can see here, we've added some more charges to our interface, to our electrode, We're going to have more anions move up from the bulk of the electrolyte and adhere to the surface. So you see more anions at the interface on the right of the point of zero charge. The point of zero charge is an intrinsic characteristic of your electrolyte. So depending on your anions and cations, you're going to have different behavior either side of the PZC. So it is an important part to consider if you want to characterize your electrolyte. A really good example here in the literature is this paper here. If you want to go check it out, they are looking at the point of zero charge in activated carbons in aqueous electrolytes, and they use, I think, cyclic voltammetry and specs. So definitely give that a look if you're interested. Hopefully that clears up what the point of zero charge is. It is not where there is no charge at the interface. It's just when there is a minimum of charge at the interface because most of the anions and cations cancel each other out. Thanks for watching.